Hey everyone, welcome back. Today's gonna be a bit of a different video. I've heard you all loud and clear. It seems most of you agree that the Orphix loot tables are trash. It doesn't feel fun to play, and carries a bunch of other problems I didn't fully cover last time. I know that my original video only got the info out about how bad the mode was, and didn't offer any recourse on how DE could make it better. So let's talk about that today. Orphix mode, a knockoff of the Orphix Venom event, being just a shell of the mission, and none of the rewards, rush, or anticipation of the original fight. Anything that actually made Orphix Venom worth running are gone. It feels very slapped on, with Father even carrying over the same quotes from the operation itself. They feel very disconnected here, with no context to the Railjack mission. Anyways, let's jump right in. So where did DE go wrong? Well, there's a few topics I want to cover today. First and foremost, we need to talk about the rewards. We all know that the rewards suck. All the arcanes are shoehorned into rotation C with the diluted drop table. There are many possible solutions here that could fix this. The most obvious one is just split up the arcanes into all rotations, so that you have some in A, B, and C. Although they have specific drop grouping in Eidolons, you can easily just split them into commons, bronze, for rotation A, uncommons, silver, for rotation B, and rare and legendaries for rotation C. If that doesn't seem balanced, as I know some commons or uncommons are more desired than their other same colored rarity arcanes, then you can just preserve the arcane pool from each Eidolon. Being rotation A carries Terry Cap arcanes, rotation B carries Gaunt Cap arcanes, and rotation C carries Hydro Cap arcanes. This would also mean you can do away with the horrible endo drop ratios in the loot table, as well as increasing arcane gain to reasonable rates. You can get tier 3 Railjack parts in multiple other missions. Orphix is the only Railjack mode with arcanes. Let the focus be on what makes this mission exclusive. Either minimize the Railjack part drops in the table, or remove it completely. The endo reward should also be increased by a factor of at least 5. This means 1000 or 1500 endo for A and B rotations respectively, which come by usually every 3 or 4 minutes. 200 and 300 endo is just an insult for a game mode with such high entry requirements. Again, coming back to that, high entry requirements. You need intrinsic 7 to access the highest difficulty Orphix mode, yet the drops aren't even good. You need someone with a decently built Railjack. You need to actually have had sizable Railjack experience and content reached to understand what's going on, unless you're taxied. But let's be real, that's not most of the player base. You need to have actually unlocked and built a necromech to perform well as formed it several times if you really want to go to distance and hit rotation C multiple times. Now the rewards need to reflect this. There are also other possible alternatives, instead of moving arcanes to A, B, and not just C. How about this one? We already have a bounty system. Fortuna implemented a bounty system that allowed additional requirements for bonus loot. Why not bring back the scoring metric of Orphix mode, like from the original event? ESO retained its scoring metric, why not Orphix? Use the bounty system's initial requirement parameters to reward players additional C rotation loots upon reaching certain benchmarks, such as every 10k points or etc. This would help bring back a need for performance, and not just a boring blind bum rush game mode. Yes, DE has increased spawn rates of Orphixes from 90 seconds to 45 seconds, but remember the best teams can blow up these Orphixes in 10 to 15 seconds after they spawn, which means you will still end up with over half the mission again as downtime. The faster spawn rates also necessitates new strats for high scores, which is good because it allows the weekly leaderboards to thrive again, and because it means you can't copy paste the same strats from the original operation. Or if you don't like that point milestone system, here's another one. Remember the sentient anomaly, and how the ephemera was RNG from the special storage containers? And then how enough people complained, so that DE actually removed it and added it into the shop for exchange of anomaly shards. Complete X amount of the mission, get X amount of shards, exchange for ephemera. That simple. Of course for arcanes, which are tradable, you can't make the price too cheap, but there needs to be a semblance of progression, as the current C rotation odds are equivalent to rolling a ribbon. You can play for hours and hours and hours and have nothing good to show for it. I suggest adding a new shop to redeem for the Orphix mode, making it permanent. For every 36 Orphixes you full clear, the mission will end and reward you with 1 Orphix token. Orphix tokens can be redeemed for any of the arcanes. Commons will cost 2, uncommons 4, rare 6, and legendaries 10. You may think this is nuts, as in too expensive, or some of you might think it's too cheap, but remember, this gives you the power to zero in on the arcane you want. It's like the Orphix event shop exactly in theory, but nerfed down to scale for its permanence. Yes, it's worse, but that's just what you'll get. To illustrate how much better this is, remember that a rank 5 Energize currently takes 224 to 236 hours of pure Orphix grinding with no downtime to obtain currently, and this is just the average. With a gain percent rate of 1.41%, you know it can deviate much higher also. With this token system, it takes 105 runs to redeem a rank 5 Energize. In an optimized setup, it should only take 10 to 12 minutes to do a full C rotation run from start till end in the Railjack. If we average that to 33 minutes, for a full round of 36, this means it takes on average 3,465 minutes to get enough tokens for a rank 5 Energize, or 57.75 hours. And in this entire time, you're still getting C rotation drops each attempt. 315 of them, which translates into another 4.5 rank 0 Energizes. I would say this is much more reasonable for a game mode many neglect and would give more incentive to play, as well as an alternative to Eidolons. It's not like people will be grinding Orphix for 60 hours non-stop anyways. You're essentially getting about 26 rank 0s in 60 hours instead of, well, 21 rank 0s in 224 to 236 hours. Or, well, this is nearly 5 times faster than it currently is. If you feel this makes them too easy to get, you can just multiply the shop cost by 2, which would push rank 5 Energize up to about 115 hours of pure grind. This is more in line with Eidolons, which takes 60 hours of top tier 6x3 night cycles to get a rank 5 Energize excluding the day downtime. And remember, increasing the token grind to 115 hours also doubles the amount of C rotations required, meaning on average you'll get an additional 9 rank 0 Energizes now instead of 4.5. So you end up with 30 rank 0s in 115 hours instead, which is still about 2.5 times faster than things currently are. Let's face it, neither activity is fun to most people. Both activities have a very high barrier of entry and a decent amount of challenge, something that most people don't play Warframe for, so we need a reason for people to run it. This is the variant of the reward system I like the most, as it has guaranteed progressional rewards. Now the whole pre-Orphix part of the Railjack mission also has massive amounts of downtime that no one appreciates. The loot table is already horrid, so there are ways this could be streamlined further to improve the experience. And this is the idea I've been juggling in my mind for the past couple of days. Every time you clear all 36 Orphix, it will give you a continue or extract prompt at the ejection port of the capital ship. You can extract normally before this also as normal, as the current iteration of the mission allows this, but if you choose to continue after 36 when reaching the capital ship ejection port, then it will immediately queue up a prompt that another capital ship has been detected in the sector. There will be no objectives, but a ton of fighters will come out from that ship direction and swarm your Railjack once you eject from the first ship. You're gonna have to deal with them and make your way to the second ship, punch through the hull with a slingshot, and continue the fight for another 36 Orphixes. The difficulty will restart at base level in the ship because, well, it's a new ship, meaning it's a new Orphix invasion and they don't know you're there. This also brings me into my next point. Orphix Venom was played on Gas City, Grineer Galleon, and Corpus ship tiles, but we only have the Corpus ship tile in the permanent variant. This honestly really makes it an eyesore and fatigues the player very easily. Why not just incorporate those Grineer Galleons as combatants in the sector as possible capital ship spawns when the next ship spawn prompts appears upon voting yes to continue in the previous capital ship. You can even despawn the previous ship and assets once everybody's pulled into the new ship, as the game currently forces everybody in after a certain period of time once half the team enters it. This will give new scenery, a different faction to fight, and finally, make the game mode once again viable for necromech leveling again. Everybody tries to farm EXP from Grineer, so it makes sense to find a way to reincorporate existing compatible tile sets back into the mission type. If anything, you can make the first ship always Corpus, as it currently is, so that people don't abort spam the mission for Grineer as the first spawn. Hell, you can even make the Grineer Galleon spawn in with fighters that are hostile to the existing Corpus battalions as an optional event, or even make it more exciting by having it spawn in as a second Galleon mid-fight with the first Corpus ship. You can even add an overhead complete Orphix mode on the Corpus ship in X time before forced ejection due to sustained hull damage type of scenario. This will give an incentive to push faster, and if this variant shows up, additional rewards should be given for successfully meeting the benchmark set by the timer. This will also let you jump into the Grineer ship sooner, as the expected pace from the team will be faster, given a sense of urgency. And finally, let's talk about the rewards once again. Arcanes have always been recycled, right? Well, I have a present for you. Remember the first time Orphixes were showcased on DevStream? Remember the Orphix mods? They already exist in the dev build. Why not finalize their stats and add them in as unique drops into the Orphix mission type? It doesn't make sense why you would create mods like that, not add them in the operation event, and then still not add them when the event returns in a permanent form months later. How hard is it to balance those mods? Yes, it's more min-max, but it's actual new mods. Useful mods that we have not had in a really long time for Warframes. The last really innovative mod set we've had, besides I think the Carnix or Stinger ones that came with Deimos, but prior to that it was the Umbral variants. And those are bordering on nearly 3 years now. That was the last time we had a game-changing mod set present. The Orphix mods are somewhat like corrupted mods, with a give and take, and they also carry set bonuses. Power creep exists and this is a form of it, but honestly, frame mods always paled in comparison to weapon mods. Slight power creep in mods like this, with drawback stats, allows another layer of interesting building, just like the corrupted frame mods originally once did. Anyways, that sums up my thoughts for this video. I hope you like the ideas I push forward, and hopefully DE can make changes to the game mode to make it worth running, as currently the pubs are a graveyard. If this is your first time watching, feel free to leave a like, or better yet subscribe. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. What do you want to see changed about this game mode? 71.9% of you are not subscribed. Make sure you do so that you don't miss any info, as you bet I'll be the first to drop a hot take the instant Tempestari arrives. Come join us on our journey together. I regularly upload Warframe content covering new releases, interesting builds and mod setups, eidolons, memes, and everything Warframe. Or better yet, catch us on Discord with the link shown here, as well as in the bottom of the description. I've even included some other tools down there you might find useful. That's it for this video. Thank you all for watching, and see you all next time.